Hi guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host Krazy Kajeevie, the bad boy of James Bond. Guys, for you I've got another episode of Dissecting the Directing, and I've decided to do the classic James Bond introduction with Sean Connery from Dr. No, where he meets for the first time the character of Sylvia Trench, played by Eunice Gayson. So, let's get into this. Alright, 1962, cinematographer Ted Moore and directed by Terence Young. Let's get into this. Okay, so we start off on a shot here of the Les Ambassadeurs, London. So basically, it's French, it's classy. That's setting the tone and the style of what this is, and that it's a casino. And we know that we're looking for someone. And who could that be?
Excuse me, sir, are you a member? No, I'm looking for James Bond.
What name should I say?
Just give him my card, will you?
Would you like to leave your code in with us?
So straight away, guys, there's no big time spent on the introduction of these characters or this man and who he is. Obviously, he's reasonably important. He's got a card. And I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, we are back. But straight away you can see the opulence. Now, director Terence Young wanted opulence, and he conveyed this a lot with Ken Adams. So what Ken Adams decided to do was really put a fair bit of the very limited $15,000 production money into this set specifically, because it doesn't just represent the film so much. It represents the character of James Bond and who James Bond is to be hanging out in this. So the director has to get you to understand who Bond is through the style of place he frequents. So it's a lovely shot here. Now, I believe this is a stage section on the side here. Will be flat. This will be set up along here for camera, for tracking, for dolly tracking along this section here. Sorry about the technical issues, guys. And you can see here, now we're going into, basically, so this is a big establishing shot here, and James Bond's obviously over at this table, and this is establishing the opulence. We see the big French style windows, the chandeliers, the wallpaper, etc. Now, what you notice is there's very limited colour in here. You've got a woman here in a green dress, and you've got pretty much everyone in blacks and whites. The women's colours are reasonably, not overly colourful. We've got a blue dress here, and there's a reason I'm getting to all that and talking specifically about the colour of the costuming. And of course, everything's about class. Again, it's about class and opulence, setting the scene that James Bond is this British gentleman spy.
Suivi.
Now this is beautifully done here. Just as the croupier stick comes up, we're on a low angle on it, and we rise quickly up to Sylvia Trench. I'm going to pause on it. So Suivi, we're in the middle of a card game. Card games can often be slow and boring a little bit. I know for a fact that Peter Hunt wanted to edit this really fast and keep this moving, and director Terence Young also wanted this moving at a very nice speed to get into the film pretty quickly and to the characters. So it's a pan up there, nice pan up to Sylvia Trench, and she's in some would call this a close-up. I don't. When you're showing so much here of the shoulders, etc., to me that is a medium shot. Now, as I've explained in previous Dissecting the Directing, Terence Young hated close-ups. So when he used them, which was very rare, he used them because he really wanted to push home a point and make it very specific about the characters. And I do love that in his direction. Now, obviously, she's looking at someone here, but what I want to point out to you is something really interesting. Notice what happens with her. I'm not going to give too much away, but I've got two questions for you. I don't want to just dictate to you, the audience. I want you guys to think like filmmakers or like an audience. What color is she in? Why is she in it? And all this scene, whose perspective are we supposed to be seeing it from? I want you to have a look at it and work that out as we go through the scene.
Gatto.
So, wide angle shot, I am going to let it play out, guys, but wide angle shot, whose perspective are we seeing this from? And look at this is a female here. So, female here, black, gentleman in black or black and white, so it's all black. She's the only person in colour in red. You see red used here and you see red used on his bow tie. He's already, what is he though? These guys have got cards. They're in the game. He's out of the game. He's wearing a red tie. I want you to factor that in. What's happening with Sylvia Trench? And why is she wearing the red dress?
Set alla banca. Just on alla banca.
Sweet.
So she's just lost a hand there.
Banco suivi.
Now we pull out, as she's in trouble, we pull out, and this is our first real look. We did see James Bond's hands over here from a wide angle shot, from medium wide angle shot, we saw his hands. Now, director Terence Young is pulling back as she's in trouble. So why is she wearing the red dress? Red dress is sign of mayday, emergency, alarm bells. She's losing money. They're all in black and white. She's the only one here in colour and she's in red. So for me, this is about her being in danger, losing money, losing the game. And Bond over here, this is the epitome of cool. Now my second question to you guys was, whose perspective are we seeing this from? Have you worked it out yet?
Gatto. Vitt alla banca.
Sweetie.
Sei suivi.
So she's in trouble again. She's lost again, guys. Sorry about technical difficulties. She's lost another hand. So director Terence Young wants us to see this from guess whose angle. It's not James Bond. It's not hers. It's not any of the players. He wants us to see it. We're seeing it from our angle, like we're there playing cards. So we're seeing the wide angle shots pulling back. So it's about us kind of moving around the table like the audience is there seeing this and feeling this, but we're not actually seeing it at this stage from the perspective of the characters.
The house will have a difference.
Bien, madame. Oui, monsieur. Changez, s'il vous plaît.
Now, this is beautiful. That was actually based on a film that directed Terence Young. I think the name of the film was Gareth or something. I'll have to look that up. But there was a 5-minute sequence in the film where a character was hidden and it literally took 5 minutes. And Terence Young thought that was a bit too long, but he stole that idea for this film. He was also greatly influenced by Hitchcock films as well.
Gatto.
Now, I love the fact, guys, when Bond turns over, his 9 of hearts, I believe it is, have a look at her dress, kind of the red dress, off-coloured red, right? The lovely red lips, hello. But then Bond's cards, it's not black, it's not, clubs or spades, it's hearts, and I love that.
Gatto.
So is this a sign of the director putting the same colour towards her like she's in danger of losing here? So the cards, red and red dress.
Neuf alla banca.
I need another 1,000.
Now, guys, there's something I want to go back on and show you. I want to see if you guys, over the years, because I'm sure many of you have watched this scene over the years. Now, I'm going to go back specifically. What I want you to do is focus on Sylvia Trench and who she is, because there's a big clue within her costuming and wardrobe of who she is. Let's see. I'll tell you to pay very special attention to her hands.
Just on alla banca.
Sweetie.
Suivi.
Gatto.
Gatto. 7 à la banque. 200 livres à la banque.
Okay, let's have a look at Sylvia Trench. What do we notice here, guys? There's a massive wedding ring on her finger. Okay? She's well-to-do, she's classy, she's gorgeous. There's no way back in 1962 a girl like that's going to be single. And she's in a high-rolling casino. She's got a big rock on her finger. What does Bond famously go for? Is the great line in Casino Royale where Daniel Craig says, when Vesper says, what, I'm intelligent? And he says, no, you're single, when he's explaining that Vesper's not his type. Here, this is obviously a married woman doing the naughty, maybe husband's off on a business trip. She's married. This is a type of that. That's not an accident. That there is not an accident. That is Bond going after a married woman, less complicated. He was known to do that. And that says a lot about her character, that she's in there and flirting with Bond, and how much attractiveness Bond, the sexuality he oozes to women.
Banque ou suivi. 4. 8 à la banque.
You see the ring there, big time.
C'est suivi.
The house will cover the difference.
Bien, madame. Oui, monsieur. Changez, s'il vous plaît. 4. 9 à la banque.
I need another 1,000.
I admire your courage, Miss.
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Mr. Bond, I suppose you wouldn't care to raise the limit?
I have no objection.
C'est pas possible.
Now I love this. Watch how Eunice Gayson used her hand here when she gives a bit of a flick of the hand after it's approved she's getting money here. And then watch James Bond. Bond actually takes the mickey out of her and he imitates her. Watch very carefully. It's probably something you've never noticed before, but he actually imitates her. You see that there? So she's been dismissive of him, like with her hand.
Would you care to raise the limit?
I have no objection.
C'est pas possible, madame. C'est illégal.
And he's like back at her. I love that. Look at his eyes. He's right on her. However, she is kind of more here. And Connery's eye line's across here a bit, where she's more sort of here. So,
Nah.
C'est
but
suivi.
then when you see it from this angle, so basically the director's got us here in a reverse angle here. We do see Bond in a profile a fair bit through the scene, in a profile shot. But this is a reverse angle, so with her looking here, him looking here, it actually does turn out pretty good. Sorry guys, it's the old PlayStation here, some technical issues.
Looks like.
Now you notice he doesn't blink once, and I've talked about the whole blinking thing about focus, concentration, and she's not blinking either.
Got to get me.
It's an idea at that.
Now she looks down, but she doesn't really blink. So the eyelids come up, but she looks at the cards, but she doesn't actually blink. She's focusing on him all the time, like a shark. You know, this is like a game to her.
8.
8 à la porte.
Now here you see this female here clearly, and she's smoking, right? She's an empowered woman. You see here, there's another female. She's wearing white. No one in this vicinity here else of the women is wearing the colour red. And I'm just wondering if this is kind of like, obviously this is made in 62, but it reminds me of what Steven Spielberg did with the classic film Schindler's List, where it was a black and white film and they used red as a sign, the red coat for the little girl, and so you could see her journey when she would appear throughout different stages of the film.
9 à la banque.
Now I love this section here. This is such good directing. If you have a look when Bond puts the cards down, he's not looking at the cards. He's just looking right at Sylvia Trench.
8.
8 à la porte.
So he looks at the cards there, Then he puts him down and his eye line's just about there. This guy here, look at this guy. I think he's straight out of a kebab shop or Lebanon. Who says James Bond's not about diversity? Look, we got Mustafa over here.
No,
And he's laughing his head off. I love the fact he's all loud, this guy here, this extra. He's laughing at Sylvia Trench. Remember, this is the 60s. It's a man's world. So I think that's a cool touch.
Super.
Thank you. Andre, I must back.
This guy's back to the game. Look, he's got the stack.
No,
He's got a stack there now, this fella. Love it. This guy's, I think he's off the set of Dallas. He's come from Texas, this boy.
Thank you. Andre, I must pass the shoe. Jean-Jacques.
Now have a look at her. Her performance here, Eunice Gayson's performance is beautiful. Director Terence Young's keeping her in a wide shot, medium wide shot here. And it's like, now the close-ups that Terence Young had, they're gone. She's now feeling lonely. She's isolated. So what has the director done? The director has framed this, Terence Young has framed this in a wider shot, keeping her back here.
I hope you'll forgive me, but it's most important.
Now, he's in a wide shot, but this shows basically where he has to go. The gentleman came in here, gave him the message, and Bond's going to be basically heading off. So this wide shot here is appropriate.
Thank you.
I love the look he gives her. Okay, so we're in another setup here. This setup, from originally when we came in from the master shot, and then we came into here, this is basically just a lowering of the camera here. He could have filmed everything from up here in a master and everything on the second setup where we were on a wide earlier. That was the second setup. He would have shot everything there in a master as well. So basically a master is letting the whole scene run out, film everything, and that way you've got the coverage of it, say a master here on one angle, you've got a master here kind of on a more profile shot angle of Sylvia Trench, and you play that out, and then they do the coverage. Your coverage are basically your reverse angle shots like over Bond's shoulder, etc.
Have those changed with?
Now we're back on dolly tracking. Here, dolly tracking, moving with them beautifully, keeping the pace going.
Good. Just as things were getting interesting.
Yes. Tell me, Miss Trench, do you play any other games?
Now that line actually wasn't in the original script. Tell me, Miss Trench, do you play any other games? There was another line in there about, it was something to do with that, but it wasn't quite, do you play any other games? I think it was actually, do you play any sports? But it wasn't any other games. Now, of course, what James Bond with that line, and they've maybe come up with that a week out from filming, on the day, on the set or whatever, but that line is implying that she's playing around, toying with him. And remember, this is a married woman. You don't wear a big rock on your finger like that. Back in the late 50s and the early 60s, when James Bond set, and this is filmed in 62, you don't wear a ring like that unless you're a married woman. Things were obviously very different back then. So Bond's implying, do you play any other games? He knows she's married. He knows what's going on.
I mean, besides, you mind if I?
And of course, he's teasing her a bit there, and he's very calm and confident.
Golf, amongst other things.
All right.
And she's teasing with him, golf, amongst other things. So this is a flirtation for the scene that comes later on when she's in his hotel room or his apartment room.
Tomorrow? See you.
And,
Now I love this. Bond goes forward here. He goes past her. The director's got this part of the frame opened up to basically show where Bond's going to be getting his winnings from. And he's still got this section of frame opened up, but she's outside of frame, so she's to left of frame here. And I love that. She's not getting the winnings. She's not getting any winnings. Bond's in control. She's out of frame. It's really clever shot composition.
afterwards, perhaps?
And now we cut to her, and now this is her opportunity. She's centre of frame because she's centre of the question that Bond's given her, and now she can walk into frame to try and be part of this. There's the gentleman that was waiting for James Bond as well. So if you never noticed that, guys, there's the same actor, the gentleman waiting for Bond.
Sounds tempting. May I let you know in the morning?
Splendid. My number's on the card.
Now, I love how Bond doesn't... Thank you, Mr. Ruggles. He's making a guest appearance. He's always wanted to be a director. Now, I love the fact that Bond's like, yep, splendid. He's so cool and calm, and he doesn't even look back. And, of course, her mind is on him already. Now, Bond makes eye line with the guy he's meeting here from Universal Exports. And this is such a beautiful touch. The director, Terence Young, has got Sylvia Trench walking here, looking out, because she's just focused on Bond. And this is showing his sexuality, his confidence, and telling the audience that this guy is the shit. You know, this guy is awesome. And the women are falling for him, even married women. I'm surprised she doesn't literally fall and roll her tongue up off the ground. And I love how it's just done. Director Terence Young has finished it off with a beautiful fade out there. It's really, really well done. Guys, that's been my dissecting the directing for James Bond Revealed in Dr. No, the first introduction of James Bond on the cinematic screen. Love to know your thoughts in comments below. If you like this video, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and please share it with your friends. And of course, most important, guys, leave in the comment section below what scene you would like me to dissect next. Let me know what you learned from it. Let me know what maybe you think I've missed from it as well. Till next time, guys, keep on bonding and say hi to your mum for me.